Dun 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 dun. Hi there, John here, and this is the Gospel according to John. Chapter 3 is where things start to get darker and more confusing. We start right off by introducing the serpent.
Hello!
In Christian doctrine, the serpent is interpolated as Satan himself, who has not actually been mentioned yet, but could be one of the ones God is referring to as the us in "Let us make man in our image." However, in the original Hebrew, it's just your average garden variety talking snake. Either way you read it, this scene is creepy if you think about it. The serpent is like, did God really say not to eat the fruit of all these awesome trees? And here I notice something. The woman is simply referred to as the woman. We'll get back to that. The woman replies that God said not to eat from a specific tree in the middle of the garden, that she can't even touch it or she will die. There's no actual scene where God's saying this to her, and we're left to assume that Adam relayed the story or something to her, and maybe even added the part about touching the tree himself. Or at least that's what I'm getting. So, yeah. Eat it and die. Bullshit! The serpent says.
If you eat the fruit, your eyes will be opened, and you will know good and evil as God does. And he knows it too. God's straight up lying to you, honey.
So the woman checks the fruit out and decides it looks good, contemplates the fact that it'll make her smarter, takes a bite, gives some to Adam, and here you go!
Hey, you took a bite out of that one.
Wait a minute, where did he come from? Was he here the whole time? You know, most guys notice when their woman's having a conversation with a huge talking phallic object.
Don't mind me.
Anyway, so Adam and name withheld trip balls on this fruit. They realize they're naked and cover themselves with fig leaves. So just remember, the first thing knowledge brings is shame. All of a sudden, we hear God stomping around in the garden. No.
Come on, Adam, where are you hiding?
God bellows like he ain't Captain Omniscience over here. Adam is all, oh, I heard you stomping around and I was all scared and naked and I thought, I don't know where my fig leaves went. They were here a minute ago. I was frightened, so I hid.
Uh-huh.
And God's like, well, now wait a minute, Adam. Who told you you were naked? Adam, did you eat from the tree that I specifically told you not to eat from? It's her idea, Adam says. A damn snake tricked me, the woman replies. Here it gets tricky. It's not clear if God punishes them or is just explaining the consequences. But to me, it seems God curses all serpent kind for all eternity, forcing the serpent to taste the dust of the earth, and oddly enough, the same of the earth word Adamah is used, which could have several possible interpretations. So God goes on declaring that man and serpent will forever be at odds. God turns next to still not important enough to have a name, and we get more villain banter. Your labor pains will be incredibly bad, and you will give birth to children in horrific agony. But you will lust after your husband like crazy, and he will rule over you. Okay, pause. Every line here practically deserves its own segue. So God tells the humans to be fruitful and multiply in the beginning, but they apparently don't until after this point? Were they sterile until they eat the forbidden fruit? Is this a punishment, or is God explaining consequences? Labor pains? Less for her husband while he rules over her? I don't know. To me, this sounds less like the words of a loving God and more like men putting words in God's mouth in order to use these scriptures to control women. Because I said so, goddammit! To Adam, God says something like, you thought it was hard to work the fields before? Now it shall be 1,000,000 billion times harder. And the plants you'll eat will be covered in thorns, and you'll get them in your tongue, and it'll really suck.
But I love you.
I reiterate, you will work the land until you die and return to the earth from whence you came.
Yeah.
So wait, if God knew this would happen, what was the point of letting... You know what? Never mind. Moving on. So Adam names his wife Eve. Finally, you managed to name every friggin' creature on Earth, but you didn't think up one for her until now, Adam? Really? Okay, so God gives Adam and Eve clothes made of skins. It doesn't say what kind of skins they are.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Never mind. And then starts talking like someone else is there again. Now that man is like us and so on, we better keep them away from the immortality fruit. Huh? Were they immortal to begin with? Is this other fruit an antidote to the knowledge fruit? Is the knowledge fruit even poisonous? Did God mislead them as to the nature of the fruit? What's going on here? This chapter raises way more questions than it answers. So, Adam and Eve are expelled from paradise, and God stations cherubim and a crazy flying sword to keep them out and make sure they don't get any more God fruit. You know, the fruit is such a weird reference. There's plenty of trees like these and other stories from other cultures with similar themes. You know, the Norse and the Chinese, for example, but in the Torah, it seems out of place. And there is a reason for that, but I'm not going to get into that right now either. That brings us to the end of Chapter 3. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever. Just try to keep it civil. I'm John Hammond, and this is the Gospel According to John. Dun 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 dun.